Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin has barely moved today. It has been a quiet day. Let's see if we can get some more action in tomorrow. Some altcoins moved a bit today, but there was really not any major movement today. There were always a few exceptions in the market, but there wasn't much going on today. So it was a pretty quiet day, which is okay after the turbulent weeks that we've had most recently. Wanted to start here on the daily time frame just to highlight, even though we are always focusing here on our primary scenario on the daily. Of course, there are alternative scenarios on the smaller time frames. I mentioned it many times. I actually mention it every few days, but just wanted to make it very clear that there is, of course, also a bearish scenario available on this chart. Yeah. That is why we're tracking bullish support, because we know that when support breaks, that is when we have to be on crash alert, okay? So at the moment, the chart tells us that even in the bullish scenario, a deeper pullback can happen. It is due. It doesn't need to happen yet. There are still possibilities for a further extension, which is what you know if you watch my videos regularly. But there is a potential for this wave 2 pullback. That is bullish actually, okay? That would not be the bearish scenario. So even if we get a little bit, another extension, that is when we finish off this wave 1 and then we come down in this wave 2 and then we can rally in the third wave later. As long as we don't break below 27,290, we can carry on with the bull market and the bullish scenario that can take us to 60, 70, 80K and possibly higher in the coming months. You never know how long something really takes. We know that these corrections in crypto can take ages. So we just need to be very mindful that if something like this happens, which happened between April and September, I mean, nothing stopping Bitcoin put in such a correction that will take, 5, 6, 7 months. So time is always the most difficult factor to predict. You can't really predict it. It takes as long as it takes. So that is a bullish scenario, but also here a deeper pullback is due. Now, on the smaller time frames, I'm still in favor of another extension, but there is also a bearish scenario which has to go live, and we have to focus on if we break below 27,290. I always mention it. The risk for that increases if we do not get a wave 2 pullback before it breaks above 43K. That would be a very much extended move up. That is where this move up looks like an ABC structure, and this leg has basically the same length or nearly the same length as this leg, and we could possibly get to 50K or 58K in a straight line. That would be short-term bullish, but actually it would increase the risk of a much deeper pullback afterwards, because it would be embedded in a larger A wave, B wave and C wave that could actually take us to new bear market lows, which would then allow us to really rally much higher. But, that is still a scenario which we have to have on the radar, and that is getting very realistic should we break below key support at 27,290, which means that even in a bullish scenario, we actually have to measure our risk against that level. Yeah, so Elliott Wave, even though it has predictive qualities, there is always a bear around the corner, and Elliott Wave tells us when the trend is changing, and that would be below 27,290. Now, that is not guaranteed that we go to new bear market lows below that level, but it will increase in likelihood. There's also another scenario in which we could just have an ABC structure, and this would be a larger A wave, then we come down in a larger B wave, we just get a very deep pullback and then move higher, but that would be not within the very aggressive bullish scenario of a 1-2-1-2 setup. We can really only focus on the present. All I see at the moment, we have impulses to the upside and we are above support. So we focus on further upside until the trend breaks, okay? Now that is only on the daily chart. Let's also take a look at the shorter time frame wave count. I actually need to go to the correct chart. Here, to be honest, not much happened today. It looked a little bit as if Bitcoin wanted to push higher today. It failed. This structure is not really giving us anything clear here. Still, though, only 3 waves up, really. It's not a 5-wave move here. Yeah, nothing clear. So Bitcoin has been holding this support area over the weekend, but it's running in, very corrective patterns. We've got overlapping and corrective price action. Very much possible that we're going to reset this wave 4 a little lower, but we won't know until it breaks micro support, and that's at 35,450. If that level breaks, we're likely going to reset the wave 4 here on the smaller time frame, which can then lead to a wave 5 later potentially. Ideally, it's holding 35,450, and we can get this one more extension into the 40K region roughly. And then we start our wave 2 pullback that I just showed you on the daily time frame. Okay, so at the moment it's all about, okay, are we already in the wave 2? Yeah, or are we getting another extension higher? I'm in favor of getting another extension. And then within this scenario, there's also the question, okay, are we already doing this extension? Or are we still in the process of finishing this 4th wave before the 5th wave starts? So it's very messy price action. You could argue that as long as we're holding that yellow support box, we can focus more directly on higher, but I can only leave you with a comment that the price action that's happening in there at the moment isn't really convincing, so we just have to wait and see. Yeah, but the 35,450 level is the key bullish support level for this micro setup, in which the price could next move up in a 3rd wave. But to be honest, this price action doesn't really look like 3rd wave price action yet, but maybe, that can change from one day to another. Bitcoin, we know it's Saturday, so it's usually a bit of a quiet day. So we'll see how, tomorrow's price action will look like, and maybe even late tomorrow when we are getting the weekly candle close. Typically, we see a little bit more volatility there. Yeah. But yeah, there's also, there are not enough waves to really count anything with on the micro level. Even more micro doesn't make much sense, so it wouldn't really give you anything reliable. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can find the links in the video description. On Twitter and Insta, you can find additional content every single day. You'll find stuff about trading mindset, Elliott Wave, technical analysis, some short-term updates. Again, not as many as we send to our gold members, but there are some. Just make sure you follow the correct account, and you can find the links in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.